I need money, Mom, my son Daniel said, handing me a thick folder as casually as if he were passing me yesterday's mail. It's my wife's debt, $180,000, he continued, his tone sharp, almost irritated. And don't disappoint me this time. I didn't respond. I simply smiled, poured myself another cup of chai, and watched him scroll on his phone, as if my life savings were just numbers on a screen. 6 hours later, my bank account was almost empty, and by the time they returned to collect the rest, the house was already silent. Only an envelope sat on the kitchen table waiting for them, like a final message. When they opened it, their faces reportedly went pale. The next morning, the doorbell rang 3 short, urgent knocks. I didn't need to guess. Daniel never came unannounced unless something was wrong. I set aside my half-finished tea and walked down the hallway of my small home in Maplewood, Oregon. Through the window, I saw his brand-new luxury SUV parked recklessly across my driveway. Daniel had inherited his father's ambition, but not his kindness. He stood at the door before I could greet him. Phone in one hand, another brown envelope in the other. Mom, he said, brushing past me with nothing more than a cold air. We need to talk. As if he still lived here, he walked straight into the kitchen and took my chair. He placed the envelope on the table and kept typing, not even glancing at me. A cup of coffee would be great, he said casually. 10 years of widowhood, and I was still serving the men in my life out of habit. I made the coffee quietly. When I set it down, I noticed his fingers trembling as he typed tight, pale knuckles. How's Lena and the kids? I asked about my daughter-in-law and the grandchildren I hardly saw anymore. They're fine, he said flatly. Only then did he finally put the phone aside. Let me get straight to it, he sighed. Mom, I'm in trouble. I sat across from him. The wall clock ticked loudly, almost mocking us. Lena got involved in something messy, he said, sliding the envelope toward me. A business deal that went bad. Inside were loan papers, debt notices, and one horrifying number printed in red. $180,000. My stomach twisted. That was almost everything I had saved, including what I kept after selling the small cabin in Bend after my husband, William, passed away. Daniel. My voice cracked. That's nearly all I have. He took a slow sip of coffee, finally meeting my eyes. Mom, come on. You don't need that kind of money. You live alone. Your house is paid off. You're 70. What are you saving it for? The words struck like a slap. The house my house, was still legally under his name. A decision William had pushed for just to simplify inheritance. It's not that simple, I whispered. I have medication costs. Doctor visits. Daniel tapped the table impatiently. Lena got scammed, okay? She trusted the wrong people. And if we don't pay by tomorrow, things get ugly. These aren't bank collectors. Mom, these are people you don't want to mess with. How ugly? I asked, throat tight. You don't need the details, he muttered. Just help us. I'll pay you back once my company stabilizes. I really looked at him. Not as a child I'd raised, but as a man who had grown distant, cold. You've borrowed before, Daniel, I said quietly. I've never seen a single dollar returned. His jaw tightened. This time is different, Mom. Stop making this dramatic. He began pacing the kitchen like a trapped animal. I'm your only child. You always said you'd do anything for me. There it was. The same tone his father used to control me for years. I need time to think, I whispered. No time left, Daniel snapped. I need the money today, Tomorrow is too late. He stood behind me, placing a hand on my shoulder heavy. Forceful, almost threatening. Mom, he said softly, voice dripping with false warmth. You know what you have to do. You know I wouldn't ask if it wasn't serious, Daniel insisted. lowering his voice to that familiar tone he used whenever he wanted something. This is for Lena's safety, for our family's safety. That word family? The very word that had kept me obedient for decades. All right, I whispered. I'll transfer it. Daniel exhaled sharply, relieved, his first genuine smile since he arrived. Thanks, Mom. I knew I could rely on you. He checked his watch. I have a meeting. I'll come back tonight for dinner, so we can wrap everything up. I nodded, unable to speak. He grabbed the folder, leaned in for a quick forehead kiss, and headed out. Don't let me down, Mom, he added like a parent scolding a child. Then he slammed the door behind him. I stared at the half-finished cup of chai, realizing with a sinking dread that I had just made a terrible mistake. Through the window, I watched his SUV speed off, tearing up the gravel I had carefully laid in the garden I'd tended for years. And then, something shifted inside me. A thought bold, frightening one the old me would never dare consider. I picked up the phone and dialed a number I hadn't called in years. Marissa. It's Diane. I need your help. She arrived in under 30 minutes. We'd met in college almost 50 years ago. She had become a lawyer. I had dropped out to marry William. She never approved of that decision. But she never left my side either, always waiting for the day I finally opened my eyes. $180. Marissa nearly choked on her tea. Diane, have you completely lost it? That's everything you have. It isn't the first time, I admitted. Last year it was $70,000 to expand his business. Before that, $40,000 to deal with a supplier. Not a penny ever came back. Marissa slammed her cup on the table. Why do you keep doing this, Diane? You're not stupid. Why can't you see what he's doing to you? Her words pierced deeper than I expected. I felt something inside me crumble. Because he's my son, I whispered in old reflex, spoken through decades of conditioning. And you are his mother, she shot back. Not his bank, not his victim. William manipulated you for 30 years. Now Daniel is following the same script. When are you going to end it? I looked outside, at the rose bushes that had finally bloomed. This year, after seasons of dead soil and cold winters, they survived. And so had I. Today, I said quietly, surprising even myself. Today, she echoed. I took a deep breath, feeling something inside me break and rebuild itself stronger. I want you to help me transfer all my money into an account Daniel doesn't know exists. And I want to leave before he comes back tonight. Marissa's eyes widened, then softened into a grin. Diane Miller. I've waited 50 years to hear you say that. She pulled out her phone. I have a vacant condo in Clearwater, Florida. Keys are at my office. Daniel is returning tonight, right? Good. That gives us 10 hours. Plenty of time. 10 hours for what? I asked. To save your life, she said simply. First stop, the bank. Then a notary. Then we pack. Then we vanish. Terrified and exhilarated, I nodded. I'd never made a bold decision in my life. He's going to lose his mind, I whispered. Marissa took my hand. Are you afraid of him? Daniel's face flashed in my mind-cold eyes, clenched jaw. That simmering anger when things didn't go his way. Yes, I said. Just like I was afraid of his father. Marissa squeezed my hand. Then it's time to stop being afraid. Packing my freedom. Upstairs, I pulled out a suitcase I'd used twice in 10 years. I packed clothing, medication, documents, and a few pieces of sentimental jewelry. In my top drawer, I found a small wooden box. William never knew about money. I had saved quietly from selling baked goods and embroidery. My small rebellion, hidden in plain sight. I grabbed a framed photo of my mother, hesitated at a childhood picture of Daniel, and left it behind. When I returned downstairs, Marissa was on the phone. Our flight to Florida is at 3 p.m., perfect timing. At the bank, the manager raised an eyebrow. You want to transfer everything? Yes, I said firmly. And please no statements to my home address. While we waited, Marissa asked gently, "What are you planning to leave behind for Daniel?" "A note," I said. "And a lesson he should have learned long ago." "The note?" "Back home, I wrote a short message and placed it on the kitchen table. The one who disappointed you is me. This debt can't be repaid with money." With my suitcase in hand, I took one last look around the home that had doubled as my cage. Outside, the roses swayed freely in the wind. For the first time, I envied them. A new life. In the taxi, Marissa held my hand. "You okay?" "Not yet," I said softly. "But I will be." Her condo in Clearwater was small, warm, and overlooked a gentle ocean. That first night, I sat on the balcony listening to the waves. When I finally turned on my phone, I saw 17 missed calls from Daniel. I turned the phone off again. I wasn't ready. "He'll find you eventually," Marissa said, pouring wine. "We'll need a long-term plan." I nodded, surprisingly calm. I never thought I had the courage to leave. "You always did," she said with a smile. "You just needed a push." Rebuilding myself. In the following days, my phone never stopped ringing Daniel. Lena, even my sister Claudia. In one voicemail, Daniel's voice swung between panic and threat. "Mom, call me back. You can't just disappear. The house is in my name. Think carefully." A week later, I began rebuilding my life. I opened a new bank account, rented a small apartment near the beach, and started selling my baked goods and embroidery at a local fair. To my surprise, people adored what I created. Meanwhile, Marissa stayed in New York but kept me informed. She told me how Daniel stormed into her office, furious, demanding to know where I was, threatening legal action, claiming I was mentally unstable. "What did you tell him?" I asked. "That you're perfectly sane," she said proudly. "And if he keeps threatening you, I'll file a restraining order." She laughed. "You should have seen his face. I bet no one has ever told him no." By the end of the month, a letter arrived from Daniel's lawyer, demanding my immediate return and threatening to seize control of my estate. Inside was a handwritten note from Lena. "Diane, please come back. Daniel is out of control. The creditors are closing in. We need you." I handed everything to Marissa. She responded on my behalf, firmly, legally attaching my medical report, proving I was sound-minded, along with a detailed summary of every dollar Daniel had taken over the years. "It'll be fine," Marissa reassured me. "But Daniel won't give up easy." "Daniel didn't just lose money," Marissa said on the phone. "He lost his personal bank ****, and he's spiraling." She was right. An unexpected knock. A month later, I received a visitor I never expected. Lena, my daughter-in-law, stood at the door of my tiny rented apartment, her face pale, her body frail. "Lena," I whispered, "how on earth did you find me?" She looked embarrassed. "We hired a private investigator. Please, can I come in?" I hesitated, but the fear in her eyes was too familiar, too much like the fear I once lived with. I opened the door. Lena scanned the small apartment, the simple furniture, the balcony where the ocean shimmered in the distance. "It's cozy," she said softly, clearly surprised I had chosen freedom over the big house. "It's mine," I replied. We sat on the small balcony, waves glittering under the afternoon sun. Her hands trembled as she held the teacup. "Things are bad, Diane," she whispered. "Daniel has changed. He's angry, unpredictable. And the kids, they're scared." My heart tightened. Yesterday he sold the car, and now he's trying to sell the beach condo to pay the debt. She paused. "It's not just $180,000, Diane." Her voice cracked. "It's much, much more." I wasn't surprised. I had lived that lie before with William. "So, you didn't come to bring me home?" I said quietly. "You came to ask for more money." Lena lowered her head. "It's more complicated. The people we owe, they're not patient. Daniel told them you still have money." A chill shot through me. "He used me as collateral." Lena didn't answer. She didn't need to. I reached for her trembling hand. Lena, you need to leave him. Take the children and go to your parents' house. It's not that easy, she said, voice breaking. He controls everything, our accounts, documents, even my phone. I don't know how I managed to slip away today. I looked into her frightened eyes. The same fear I had once carried, locked inside a marriage that drained my soul. You can get out, I told her. Not with money, but with help. Real help. She looked at me, fear and hope clashing in her eyes. He'll find us, she whispered. He found you. Then we'll be ready, I said, surprising myself with the strength in my voice. First, we get you and the kids out safely. She left with a concrete escape plan, and a new phone with a secret number I tucked into her boot. After she was gone, I sat on the balcony, watching the sunset, orange flames burning across the horizon like a symbol of my rebirth. ###, the threat arrives, ***. My phone rang. It was Marissa. Lena visited you, didn't she? I froze. How did you know? Because Daniel came to my office again, this time with a ***, loan shark, ***. She exhaled sharply. Big man. Scarred face. The kind who doesn't blink. My stomach dropped. What did they want? To know where you were. They hinted at consequences. And what did you tell them? I asked, breath shaking. I told them if they touched you or me, or anyone linked to, would make sure they spent the rest of their lives in prison. She paused. Diane, this is getting dangerous. Daniel is desperate now. I stared at the fading sun. I know, and desperate people do desperate things. ###, the detective ****. The next morning, a loud knock rattled my door. My heart hammered. Had Daniel found me? But when I peered through the peephole, a woman stood there holding a badge. Are you Diane Miller ***? She asked gently.
Yes.
I'm Detective Olivia. We need to talk about your son. Daniel Miller ***. My throat tightened. Is he in trouble? May I come in? She asked. I led her inside and made coffee. She sat on my small sofa, her expression calm but serious. Mrs. Miller, your son is under investigation for *** financial fraud, falsifying documents, and involvement with a loan sharking operation ***. We need your statement. The room spun around me. Deep down, I'd always known Daniel wasn't running an honest business, but hearing it said aloud shattered something inside me. I only knew he was struggling financially, I whispered. I didn't realize how deep he was. Olivia nodded, taking notes. You left your home 2 months ago. Why? I told her everything. The manipulation, the loans, the pressure, the demand for $180,000. Then she asked, did your son ever use your name to sign documents? Or have you signed papers without explaining them? I thought back. Yes, he said it was so he could help me in emergencies. William used to say the same. Olivia looked up. We found several suspicious accounts in your name. Accounts Daniel controlled. I closed my eyes, the betrayal cutting like a blade. He hadn't just taken advantage of me. He had stolen my identity ***. What do I do now? I whispered. We'll continue investigating. You'll need to submit an official statement soon. And you should be very cautious. Your son could face charges within weeks. When she left, I immediately called Marissa. She promised to fly to Florida that night. I knew Daniel was trouble, she said, but this is worse than I ever imagined. The breaking point. That afternoon, a text came from Lena. He found out about the plan. I'm locked in the bedroom with the kids. He's destroying the house. My body went numb. I called Detective Olivia instantly. She sent officers to Lena's home. The next hours crawled by like days. By nightfall, the news arrived. Lena and the kids were safe. Daniel had been arrested for resisting police. Asterisk asterisk. Marissa arrived late that night and found me on the balcony, frozen in silence. How do you feel? She asked softly. Guilty, I whispered. If I hadn't left, maybe this wouldn't have happened. Marissa shook her head firmly. No, Diane, if you hadn't left, he would have dragged you into his crimes. You saved yourself. And maybe Lena and the children too. She took my hand. You did the only thing you could. The headline that changed everything asterisk asterisk. The next morning, the newspaper headline stunned me. Local businessman arrested for fraud and organized crime links asterisk asterisk. Under the headline was a photo of Daniel in handcuffs. A stranger, not the boy I had raised. My phone rang. It was Detective Olivia. Mrs. Miller. Your son wants to see you. He'll only talk to you. Marissa looked at me. You don't have to go. I need to, I said calmly. To end this, the final confrontation asterisk asterisk. The police station was cold, fluorescent, unforgiving. Daniel walked into the visitation room, cuffed, pale, wearing a gray jumpsuit that made him look smaller than I'd ever seen him. Mom, he breathed, tears forming. You came. I sat across the table, hands folded. You wanted to see me? I'm here. I'm in serious trouble, Mom. Those people live. I can't pay them. No, I interrupted. You don't understand. I'm not here to save you with money. His face twisted from fear to anger. You left me when I needed you most. You abandoned your family. No, I said, voice steady. I finally protected myself. And I'll tell your children that their father made the same mistakes his grandfather made, and that I finally chose what was right. Daniel slammed his cuffed hands on the metal table. The house is still in my name. You have nothing. I stood slowly. I still have myself. The one thing I nearly lost because of men like you and your father. I turned toward the door, then paused. Lena and the kids are safe. They'll have a better life. And now, so will I. When I stepped out into the sunlight, the warmth hit my face like a blessing. Marissa waited in the car. How was it? She asked. I took a breath. I felt in my bones. Asterisk asterisk freedom. Asterisk asterisk I said, smiling for the first time in years. Hash 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 asterisk asterisk 6 months later asterisk asterisk. Winter winds swept the shores of Clearwater. My tiny apartment had become a true home. Potted plants on the balcony. My colorful embroidery hanging on the walls. Lena and the kids, asterisk asterisk Lucas, 8, and Mariana, 6 asterisk asterisk had moved inland near her family. We video called every week. Marissa taught me how to use the technology. And for the first time in decades, I felt peace. The children were adjusting to their new life, though they still asked about their father. Grandma, when can we visit you? Lucas asked me one Sunday over video call, his big brown eyes filling the screen. During your summer break in July, I promised. We'll build sandcastles and hunt for seashells. I'll show you the best spots on the beach. Lena appeared beside them on the screen. Her face looked softer now, healthier. No dark circles, no haunted stare. Are you really inviting us, Diane? She asked gently. Of course, I said. The apartment's small, but there's room for everyone. I want to hear children's laughter in this place. After the call ended, I stayed on the sofa, watching the real waves crash against the real shore just beyond my balcony. Daniel's trial was scheduled for the following month. The charges were heavy. Asterisk asterisk fraud, forgery, conspiracy asterisk asterisk. Marissa predicted he could get asterisk asterisk 10 years or more, asterisk asterisk. I had agreed to testify. Not out of revenge, but out of justice. For myself, for Lena, for everyone he had deceived. Hash 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 the lawyer's call. My phone rang. An unknown number. Mrs. Diony Miller. A male voice asked. Yes. Who's calling? I'm asterisk asterisk Robert Mendez asterisk asterisk. Your son's attorney. My chest tightened. Daniel had cycled through so many lawyers lately, each more specialized than the last, all promising miracles. What do you need, Mr. Mendez? Your son wants to negotiate, he said smoothly. He has information about people higher up in the operation. Valuable information. If we can secure a better deal, prosecutors may reduce his sentence. But he needs your help. I exhaled slowly. Financial help, I assume, I said. To pay for your special legal strategy. There are additional legal costs, he admitted. Daniel was hoping you could contribute $120,000 . I laughed a tired, humorless laugh. That's unbelievable. I don't have that kind of money. And even if I did, I wouldn't spend it on this. Mrs. Miller, his voice sharpened. Your son is facing over 10 years in prison. As a mother, you must. As a mother, I cut in firmly. I've already done more than enough. 4 decades. Daniel will face whatever comes his way on his own now. Silence. When he spoke again, his tone was softer, but colder. He said you might respond like this. He also asked me to remind you. He still has copies of documents you signed. Papers that could make you look involved in some of his transactions. My stomach twisted, but my voice stayed steady. Tell my son blackmail is just one more crime on top of the others. If this is what it takes to end this cycle, then I'll face whatever comes. I hung up, my hand shaking, then immediately called Marissa and told her everything. He's bluffing, she said without hesitation. The police have already reviewed every document you signed. They know the pattern. They know you were coerced. Legally, he has nothing. Even so, that night's sleep refused to come. I lay in the dark, replaying every moment I'd ever signed anything. Papers from William, documents from Daniel, contracts I'd barely glanced at because I trusted them. So much blind trust, so many signatures that had cost me pieces of my life. A new development. The next morning, a loud knock jolted me upright. I opened the door to see Detective Olivia with another officer. Mrs. Miller, she said, we need you to come with us to the station. There's been a development in your son's case. On the way, she explained. Daniel tried to bribe a guard to smuggle in a phone. Fortunately, that guard is part of an internal investigation. Everything was recorded. At the station, they showed me a transcript of the call Daniel intended to make. It was to one of the men he owed money to. His recorded voice was clear. My mother has money hidden. If I can't pay, you know where to find her. The words turned my blood to ice. My son, my only child, had been willing to put a target on my back just to save himself. Mrs. Miller, Olivia said gently, with this new evidence, we're recommending protective measures. We strongly advise you to relocate for your safety. Once again, the police drove me home. Marissa was already there waiting, having been notified. She hugged me so tightly I could barely breathe. I'm already searching for a condo in a secure building, she said. Gated community, cameras, guards, the works. I looked around at my little apartment. The plants I watered every morning. The curtains I'd sewn with my own hands. The balcony view of a sea that had quietly listened to my tears and my first real laughs in years. No, I said, surprised by my own certainty. I'm not running again. I won't let Daniel keep controlling my life even from a prison cell. Marissa stared at me, torn between worry and pride. Diane, those people are dangerous. I know, I replied. I'll be careful. But this is the first home I chose for myself. I won't give it up. Standing my ground. Over the next few days, we turned my small home into a fortress. New locks. An upgraded alarm system. Security cameras. The police increased patrols in the area. And 2 plainclothes officers took turns watching from a parked car nearby. When Lena heard, she called me in a panic. Diane, please, come stay with us, she begged. I'm okay, sweetheart, I reassured her. I have my own life now. Craft fairs, new friends, even senior swimming classes. I chuckled softly. At 60, I finally know who I am when I'm not busy taking care of ungrateful men. The summons. About a week later, when things felt somewhat calmer, a letter arrived. A court summons. My date to testify at Daniel's trial. Marissa, still staying with me in Florida, read it aloud. Are you ready for this? She asked quietly. Seeing him in court won't be easy. I looked out at the ocean, its endless rhythm consoling me. I'm ready, I said. It's time to close this chapter. The trial. The courthouse in downtown Miami loomed above us, formal, intimidating. Marissa drove us while I sat in silence, watching the city blur past the car windows. Nervous? She asked. Strangely. No, I replied. It feels more like the end of a very long book. Inside the courtroom, we took a seat near the front. The prosecutor, a sharp-eyed woman in her 50s, approached and shook my hand. Mrs. Miller, she said, your testimony is extremely important. Your son is trying to present himself as a victim of business partners. Of circumstance. He's always been good at playing the victim, I murmured. The side door opened. Daniel walked in, flanked by 2 officers. He looked thinner, older, his face drawn. His eyes searched the room until they found mine. They pleaded. I did not. I sat up straight and held his gaze, calm, steady, unshaken. The judge entered, and everyone rose. The proceedings began. Experts testified first. Banking specialists, investigators, accountants breaking down how Daniel's scheme worked step by step, victim by victim. Then they called my name. My legs trembled as I walked to the stand, but my spine stayed straight. I raised my hand, swore to tell the truth, and sat. Mrs. Miller, the prosecutor began. Can you describe your relationship with the defendant, your son? I looked at Daniel. I raised him mostly alone after my husband died 10 years ago, I said. Before that, we looked like a normal family from the outside. But it was an illusion. What do you mean? The prosecutor asked. My husband, William Daniel's father, was controlling, financially manipulative. He kept everything in his name, controlled every decision. Daniel grew up watching that. He learned that love and control could be mixed. And how did Daniel manipulate you financially? She continued. I explained it all. The repeated loans, the fake promises, the subtle threats, the emotional blackmail, the final demand for $180,000 to cover what he called his wife's mistake. And what finally pushed you to leave after so many years? She asked. I paused. It was his contempt, I said. The way he said, don't let me down. Mom, as if I were a credit card, not a person. In that moment, something inside me broke and then it rebuilt into something stronger. The prosecutor nodded and stepped back. Daniel's attorney stood for cross-examination, full of false confidence. Mrs. Miller, he began. Would you say you're a good mother? I saw the prosecutor prepare to object, but I raised my hand slightly to signal her to wait. For most of my life, I answered slowly. I believed a good mother gives everything: money, time, even her dignity. Now I know a good mother also teaches her child responsibility and accepts that sometimes they must face consequences alone. You abandoned your son when he needed you the most, he accused. No, I said firmly. I stopped enabling his self-destruction. There's a difference. And these supposed threats and demands you mention, how convenient that they come up now. While he's negotiating for a plea deal, I remained calm. The recordings and documents speak for themselves, I replied. I gain nothing from sitting here describing how my own son tried to sell out his mother to criminals. This isn't convenient. It's tragic. When my testimony ended, I returned to my seat. My legs shook. Marissa reached over and squeezed my hand without saying a word. The trial went on. Employees testified. Victims testified. Then Lena spoke, voice trembling, describing years of lies, financial fear, and how Daniel's rage had escalated. From our bench, I watched him grow more agitated, leaning toward his lawyer, whispering, scowling, denying with his eyes what the evidence had already proven. When the judge called for a recess, Daniel looked at me one last time. No pleading, no softness, just cold, hardened hatred. It sent a shiver straight through me. That night, alone in the hotel room the court had arranged for my safety, I lay awake, staring at the ceiling. That look in his eyes wouldn't leave me. It was the same look William used to have whenever he didn't get what he wanted. The next morning, Marissa and I returned to the courthouse for Daniel's sentencing. The prosecutor presented a clean, devastating summary of the case. Daniel's attorney tried to paint him as a struggling businessman who'd simply made poor decisions, not a man who had built an entire life on lies and fraud. When the judge stepped out to deliberate, Marissa and I walked to a nearby cafe. I stirred my tea absent-mindedly, my mind drifting in and out of memories. That's when I noticed him. A man sitting 3 tables away. He held a newspaper, but his eyes weren't on the pages. They were on asterisk, 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 asterisk. Marissa, I whispered. That man. He's watching. She glanced subtly over her shoulder. Maybe a reporter, she murmured. This case has media attention. But something felt wrong, the stiffness in his shoulders. The way he pretended to look bored but kept checking our reflection in the window. I want to go back to the courthouse, I said, standing abruptly. Marissa didn't argue. As we left, the man stood too, keeping a careful distance. Not too close, but close enough. When we reached the courthouse entrance, I alerted the officers stationed there. They exchanged a look and nodded. We'll keep an eye on him. The sentencing. When proceedings resumed, the judge returned. In the case of the state of Florida versus asterisk asterisk Daniel William Miller asterisk asterisk, the court finds the defendant asterisk asterisk guilty on all counts asterisk asterisk. A strange mix of relief and grief washed through me. My son, my only son, now legally a criminal. The defendant is sentenced to asterisk asterisk 12 years in state prison asterisk asterisk, with the possibility of parole after 4 years, along with fines and restitution. Daniel didn't react. Not a flinch. But as officers took him by the arms, he turned his head toward me. This isn't over, he said clearly, his voice low and cold. You'll regret this. A shiver crawled down my spine. Outside the courthouse, I spotted the same man again, partially obscured in the crowd. I pointed him out to police. The moment he realized he'd been noticed, he slipped away and disappeared. We need to get on the first flight back to Florida, I whispered to Marissa. I don't feel safe here. The first warning. The following week, I tried to return to some sense of normalcy. The police checked in occasionally, but insisted Daniel's threats weren't credible while he was behind bars. But one afternoon, after returning from the local fair, where I sold embroidery, I noticed a car parked near my building. Windows tinted pitch black. It was parked perfectly to face my entrance. Every instinct in me screamed. I didn't go inside. Instead, I kept walking, pretending not to notice, and called Detective Olivia. It might be nothing, she said, but don't take chances. Stay in a public place. I'm sending officers now. I ducked into a cafe, sitting by a window where I could see the vehicle. 20 long minutes later, 2 police cruisers pulled up silently. 2 men stepped out of the suspicious car, trying to walk away casually. But officers intercepted them immediately. My phone rang. Mrs. Miller, Olivia said, we've detained the men. They have criminal histories, and they were carrying an unregistered firearm. Plus a paper with your address on it. A chill froze my blood. They might be connected to Daniel, she continued. We're questioning them now. Do you have somewhere safe to stay? I called Marissa immediately. Her answer was instant. I'm on my way. Pack a bag. We'll go to my beach house. Nobody knows about that place. Running. Or something else. Police escorted me back to my apartment so I could grab essentials. As I packed, I looked around the home I had built, piece by piece. My plants. My handmade curtains. My little balcony sanctuary facing the sea. Once again, I was preparing to run, but was that really what I wanted? Or was fear trying to push me back into old habits? A new idea began forming in my mind. Dangerous, bold, the kind of idea old Diane would never have considered. When Marissa arrived, I told her. She stared at me, shocked. That's risky, she warned. Living afraid is riskier, I said quietly. I'm tired of being hunted. It's time to end this. Setting the trap. The next morning, instead of driving away to Marissa's hidden beach house, we returned to my apartment with a full police team. With Detective Olivia's support, we built a trap. The two men who had been arrested earlier decided to cooperate in exchange for reduced charges. They revealed everything. Daniel, using a smuggled phone, had hired someone to scare me, a mild word for the violence he intended. He wants to feel powerful again, Olivia explained, even behind bars. The plan was simple. I would continue my routine as though nothing were wrong. Undercover officers would monitor everything. When the hired man showed up, they'd catch him in the act. For 3 days, I lived in a quiet terror. Every footstep outside my door made my heart lurch. Every stranger on the street felt like a threat. The confrontation. On the 4th morning, I stepped onto the balcony to water my plants. That's when I saw him. A man leaning against a utility pole across the street, staring directly at my apartment. Our eyes met for a fraction of a second, just long enough for me to know. I stepped inside immediately and signaled to the cleaning lady. An undercover officer. It's him, I whispered. I'm sure. For half an hour, he watched the building. Then he crossed the street, heading toward the entrance. The doorman, another undercover officer, let him inside. My heart hammered so loudly, I thought he would hear it through the walls. I sat in the living room, facing the door. The officers hid in the bathroom, door slightly ajar. The bell rang. I inhaled slowly, a breath that seemed to come from somewhere deep inside me, and opened the door. Mrs. Diane Miller, the man asked politely. He looked so ordinary. The kind of face you forget the minute you look away. Yes, I answered. I have a message from your son. Before he could move a muscle, 3 officers burst from hiding, pinning him to the floor. Before his sentence even finished, I stepped back, trembling, but also standing stronger than I ever had before. The man didn't resist arrest. In fact, he almost looked relieved. That afternoon, Detective Olivia arrived at my apartment with an update. He confessed to everything, she said. Daniel promised him $5,000 to teach his ungrateful mother a lesson. My stomach nodded. And what exactly did that mean? I asked. Olivia hesitated, choosing her words carefully. He was told to trash your apartment, threaten you, and, she swallowed, rough you up. Nothing fatal, just enough to make sure you stayed scared. Forever. My legs gave out beneath me, and I collapsed into a chair, trembling. Is that enough to add more charges against Daniel? More than enough, Olivia said firmly. Assault, conspiracy, solicitation of violence, threats. This wipes out any chance of parole. I pressed a hand over my heart. My son had planned to hurt me, his own mother. And he had done it without hesitation. The final visit. A week later, I decided to see him. Daniel looked genuinely stunned when I appeared behind the thick prison glass. Maybe he hadn't expected I'd ever come again. I'm here to say goodbye, Daniel, I said. Goodbye. He frowned. What are you talking about? The man you hired confessed, I said calmly. You're facing additional charges. You'll be here much longer than you thought. He blinked, jaw tightening, but I continued. But that isn't why I came. I came to tell you that I'm moving on. Daniel scoffed. Moving on? You're sick. You're alone. No, I said gently. I'm free. And I've learned it's never too late to begin again. His eyebrow twitched, confusion and mockery blending in his expression. So who are you now? If you're not my mother, not Dad's wife. I smiled softly, perhaps the most honest smile I had ever given him. Gianni. A woman who finally learned to value herself. A woman who no longer lives in fear. Daniel slammed his palm against the glass, anger flaring in his eyes. You think this is over? It's not. One day I'll get out. When that day comes, I replied, standing slowly. If it comes at all, you'll be ready. I leaned closer, my voice steady. But you won't have power over me ever again. And I walked away. When I stepped outside, the sky was a brilliant blue. Crisp autumn wind brushing over me like a blessing. Marissa waited by the car. How was it? She asked softly. I exhaled a deep, cleansing breath. Freedom, I said with a smile that came from somewhere true. 1 year later. A full year passed since I left my old life behind. Autumn returned to Florida, tinting the trees with warm shades of orange and red. My little embroidery business had blossomed. 3 women now came every week to learn stitching, share stories, and simply enjoy life together. Lena and the children visited twice. Lucas and Mariana filled my apartment with laughter, building collecting seashells for the balcony, racing down the shoreline with wind in their hair. Lena worked as a teacher now in her new town, slowly regaining her confidence. She looked happier than I'd ever seen her. Meanwhile, Daniel's sentence had been extended by 3 more years for hiring someone to threaten me. Detective Olivia still updated me occasionally. He's quiet now, she said once. Maybe he's finally accepted the consequences. The woman at my door. One Saturday afternoon, after I returned from the craft fair, a woman stood outside my building. She appeared to be in her 50s, hair streaked with gray, carrying an air of familiarity that unsettled me. Are you Diane Miller? She asked. Yes. I'm Christine Albright. Her voice softened. I was Edward's wife before you. I froze. Edward had described his ex-wife as unstable, greedy, dramatic. I now recognized how absurd that was. Please, I said, opening the door. Come in. We sat in my small living room, tea steaming between us. Christine explained everything. I read about your case. About Daniel, how he manipulated you for years. She looked down. Edward did the same to me. A quiet understanding crossed between us, 2 women linked by the same storm. When I read your story, Christine continued, I knew I needed to close that chapter of my life. How did you find me? I asked. She smiled gently. You've become known in survivor groups, women recovering from financial abuse. Your story travels. Diane, you've become a symbol of strength. I nearly dropped my cup. Me, I whispered. Christine nodded. A woman nearing 70. Who walked away from everything. Who faced her son in court and rebuilt her life. Yes, you've inspired many. We talked for hours. She told me things about Edward I never knew. His patterns. His lies. His manipulation. I realized how many women lived through what I had lived, and how many never found the courage to escape. But I had walked out. I had rebuilt. I had become someone new. By the time Christine left, the sun had begun to set, casting warm golden light through the window. I stood at the balcony, watching waves roll toward shore. For the first time in my entire life, I felt whole. If you want, I can now. Christine and I sat together, 2 women connected by the same invisible thread we once believed was our fault. She told me how Edward had isolated her from her family, controlled her finances, decided who she could see. and made her believe she was incapable of surviving without him. When we divorced, she said quietly, he left me with almost nothing. Then he moved on to you. And the cycle started all over again. Her words echoed painfully through my own memories. When he died, I felt two things, Christine continued. Relief, because he couldn't hurt anyone anymore. And anger because he never faced justice for what he did. I understand, I whispered. I used to blame only Daniel. But now I see Edward planted the seed. Daniel just followed the example he grew up with. Christine nodded slowly. The cycle continues, she murmured. Unless someone breaks it. As evening fell, we exchanged contact information and promised to stay in touch. After she left, I stepped onto the balcony, watching the sunset paint the sky in orange and gold. I thought of Edward and Daniel, father and son. Two men who had once shaped my life. Without my consent. One was in the ground. The other behind bars. Yet both had left scars I was still learning to understand. That night, I opened my journal, a new ritual I had only recently discovered. I wrote, today, at 69. I realized I've spent most of my life trying to be what others needed. A devoted wife. A self-sacrificing mother. A walking bank account. Always giving, always afraid. Now I'm learning to be myself. Stronger. Braver. More capable than I ever imagined. I can't get back the money Daniel stole or the years I lost with Edward. But the time I have left belongs to me. To live, to breathe, to choose, greater than, without fear, without control, without regret, a new beginning, The next day, I found an email from Christine. She had spoken with several other women who lived through similar abuse. They wanted to start a support group. I agreed instantly. The first meeting took place at a small cafe near the beach. 5 women came, each bearing stories etched in pain, but also in resilience. Some had been controlled by husbands, some by sons, some by bros. All carried scars, financial, emotional, psychological. We shared, we listened, we laughed, we cried. And by the end, we celebrated something we all thought we had lost, hope. Marissa, who had joined me, leaned forward at the end of the meeting and said, "You should make this official. There are thousands of women like you who need to know they're not alone, who need to know it's never too late to start again." The idea caught fire. A few months later, *Rebegain** was born. A non-profit organization dedicated to supporting women recovering from financial and emotional abuse. I used my embroidery skills to design our logo. ***, a radiant phoenix rising from ashes. ***. The symbolism felt perfect. ###***. The first workshop ***. Our first public workshop drew more than 50 women. My hands trembled as I stepped onto the small stage. But the moment I began speaking, something settled inside me. "My name is Diane Miller," I said. "I'm 69 years old." Dozens of faces looked up at me, some hopeful, some broken, some desperate for a sign they could survive too. "Most of my life," I continued, "I let others control my money, my decisions, and my sense of self. First, my husband. Then my son." I paused, feeling the weight and release of the truth. Until the day my son demanded ***, nearly everything. I had hand, something in me broke. And then, I was reborn. I looked around the room, meeting as many eyes as I could. It's never too late to say no. It's never too late to begin again. And it's never too late to discover who you truly are. Once you stop living for other people's approval, applause filled the room, warm, genuine, overflowing. For the first time, I felt like my voice meant something. Asterisk asterisk a letter from the past asterisk asterisk. 2 years after I walked away from everything, a letter arrived. From asterisk asterisk Daniel asterisk asterisk. The handwriting was slower, more careful, nothing like his usual rushed scrawl. Greater than asterisk mom asterisk. Greater than asterisk. It feels strange to write that. I don't know if I deserve to call you mom anymore asterisk. Asterisk, I'm not asking for forgiveness. I know I don't deserve it. Asterisk. Asterisk, I started therapy in prison. Asterisk. Asterisk, my therapist helped me see things I never noticed before. Asterisk. Asterisk, I've been living exactly like Dad, using people. Manipulating, treating them like tools. Asterisk. Asterisk, I'm not making excuses. Just admitting the truth. Asterisk. Greater than. Asterisk, you were right to make me face the consequences. Asterisk. Asterisk, you might throw this letter away, and I understand. Asterisk. Asterisk, I just wanted you to know. Asterisk, I'm proud of you. Asterisk. Asterisk, I saw your picture in the news, speaking at the women's group. Asterisk. Asterisk, you look different. Asterisk. Asterisk, stronger. Asterisk. Asterisk, Daniel asterisk. I read the letter again, and again, and again. My emotions tangled in a knot inside my chest. Caution, sorrow, love, grief, and a fragile thread of hope. I didn't respond immediately. Instead, I took the letter to my next therapy session. Some wounds need gentle hands to unpack. Some wounds take a lifetime. But for the first time in nearly 7 decades, I was willing to walk through the healing. And I wasn't walking alone. Therapy had become a healthy routine in my new life. I never imagined I'd need or deserve. After I finished reading Daniel's letter aloud, my therapist tilted her head thoughtfully. What do you want to do? She asked gently. I don't know, I admitted. Part of me wants to believe he's changing. I want to believe it. But another part of me remembers every lie, every threat, every time I trusted him and paid the price. My therapist nodded. And what if both parts of you are right? I looked up, confused. What if he is trying to change? She continued softly, but it still isn't safe or healthy for you to go back. Healing doesn't require reconciliation. Sometimes distance is the safest love there is. Her words stayed with me for days. In the end, I wrote a short, careful letter. Asterisk. The letter I sent asterisk. Daniel. Greater than. I received your letter. Greater than. I can't say I believe everything in it. Trust, once broken, is difficult to rebuild. Greater than. Acknowledging respect your effort to seek help and reflect on your actions. My life is now focused on helping women who have gone through similar experiences. Greater than, I've found peace and purpose in that work. I hope you find your own path forward. Greater than, if that path truly leads to change. Perhaps one day we can speak again, not as mother and son, repeating the past, but as two people trying to become better. Diane, I mailed it with no expectations. Months passed without a reply. And strangely, that was perfectly all right. My life had moved in its own direction, away from Daniel. Away from fear. Away from the shadows. Spring in Florida, Spring arrived in Florida in a burst of color, pinks and oranges, blooming across the city. Warm breezes drifting through open windows. Rebegin. The nonprofit we founded grew faster than any of us predicted. We now had a small downtown office, a team of volunteers, and a steady stream of women seeking guidance. Twice a week, we held free classes on financial literacy something. I myself had only learned properly at 16. Lena became one of our regular speakers, sharing her journey of escaping control, rebuilding stability, and reclaiming her confidence. Watching her stand before a room full of women and speak with strength made me prouder than I ever expected. *******************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************Lucas, now almost 10, loved fishing off the pier near my apartment. He insisted the fish listened better if you talked to them politely. Mariana, 8 and bright as morning, preferred sitting by the window with me, embroidering colorful patterns. One afternoon, as we stitched together, she paused and asked quietly, "Grandma, are you happy now?" The question stunned me. Her little face waited with such seriousness. "Yes, sweetheart," I said softly. "Happier than I've ever been." "Even without Grandpa?" she asked. "Even without Dottie?" I inhaled slowly, choosing every word with care. "Sometimes, Mariana," I began, "we have to walk away from people we love in order to find ourselves again." She frowned, thinking hard. "That doesn't mean we stop loving them," I continued. "It just means we learn to love ourselves, too." She nodded thoughtfully. "Like when I need quiet time in my room," she said. "Even though I still love playing with Lucas." I laughed gently. "Exactly like that. *********, the call that changed everything again, *******. By June, life finally felt steady. Then my phone rang. Agent Olivia. "Mrs. Miller," she said, "I'm calling to inform you that your son will be transferred to a work release program, next month." I froze. I thought his sentence was extended. It was, Olivia explained, but he's shown good behavior, completed rehabilitation programs, and his lawyer petitioned successfully for a reduced level of confinement. He'll still be monitored closely, she added. Restricted housing, limited movement, but he'll be able to work during the day. I thanked her and hung up, but the familiar unease crept back in. A shadow whispering old fears. Daniel would soon have partial freedom. What would that mean for me? For Lena? For the kids? I called Marissa. "Do you think I should be worried?" She listened, then answered with her usual calm logic. "We'll increase the security at your apartment. Cameras, locks, everything. But honestly, Diane, I don't think he'll do anything. He has too much to lose now." Her confidence steadied me. A week later, I received another letter from Daniel. His tone was different, formal, restrained, almost distant. "Greater than, Diane, greater than. Next month I'll be moved to a work release program. I wanted you to hear it from me, not from someone else. Diane, greater than. I wanted you to hear it from me, not from someone else. Next month I'll be moved to a work release program. I'll be working on a reforestation project during the day and returning to the facility at night and on weekends. I have no intention of interfering with your life. I've learned my lesson. My therapist says respecting boundaries is the first step toward healthy relationships. I'm trying to practice that. I also wanted to let you know that I contacted Lena about the kids. She agreed to let me write to them under supervision. Maybe one day I'll see them again, when she decides it's safe. **********. The word asterisk, mom asterisk, never appeared, not at the beginning, not at the end. It stung, but it also revealed something deeper. He was finally acknowledging boundaries. He understood that the old relationship could not continue as before. I shared the letter with Lena during our next video call. "Yes," she said. "I gave him permission to write to Lucas and Mariana. Their therapist said we shouldn't teach them their father is a monster. His letters are different now. He asks about their hobbies. He doesn't blame anyone. He doesn't make promises. Do you think he's really changed?" I asked carefully. Lena shrugged. "Maybe, or maybe he's just found a way to behave better." That's why everything is supervised. She hesitated. And you? Will you reply? I thought about it for a moment, then nodded. I think I will, just to acknowledge I received it, and to keep boundaries clear. So I wrote, Daniel, greater than, thank you for informing me about your transfer. I wish you well in this new phase of rehabilitation. Greater than, I'm glad you're allowed supervised contact with your children. They deserve a good father if you can truly become that person, I've found my path now. I hope you find yours. Diane I sent the letter without expectation. A new kind of fear July arrived with suffocating heat. One afternoon, the rehabilitation center called. Mrs. Miller. This is Sophia, the case manager. It's about your son. My heart dropped. He's not injured, she said quickly. But something happened today. Daniel had argued with another inmate at the reforestation project, and for the first time in his life. He didn't fight back. Instead, he walked away and found a supervisor. And now he's being targeted because of that. Sophia said, we're concerned for his safety. What does that have to do with me? I asked, confused. He requested a transfer. We have an opening in the urban restoration program, replanting trees at a park. Near your neighborhood. I inhaled sharply. We need your consent, she continued, because of your shared history. He'll be monitored at all times. Did he ask specifically to be placed near me? No, ma'am. When he heard the location, he actually hesitated and asked if there was another option. But this is the only safe placement available. That surprised me. After everything, he was still trying to maintain distance. How far is the park from my home? I asked. About 15 blocks. And again, he cannot leave the work zone. He'll be supervised constantly. I took a long breath. All right, I said finally. I agree. I wasn't sure if I was being compassionate or naive. Maybe both. Maybe that was okay. I told Marissa everything. You did the right thing, she said firmly. Showing humanity is not the same as lowering your guard. You can have boundaries and compassion at the same time. Crossed paths without words, The following week, Daniel began working at the park. I purposely changed my grocery route so I'd pass by at a safe distance. From afar, I saw him working quietly under the sun, planting saplings, clearing debris, reshaping the soil that others had abandoned. He looked thinner, calmer, unrecognizably subdued. Once, I felt his gaze flicker toward me, but I didn't approach. I simply kept walking. Some bridges are not meant to be rebuilt. Some are meant to be acknowledged from a distance and left in peace. Another letter In August, another letter arrived. Greater than Diane. Greater than. I know you saw me at the park. Thank you for keeping your distance and for approving my transfer. The work here brings me peace. There's something grounding about turning something broken into something green, something useful. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I just wanted to say, thank you. His tone was calm, sincere, free from manipulation. For the first time, I felt no fear reading his words. The next day, I sent a quiet gesture of support, a high-quality gardening tool set and a book on native Florida plants. No name, no message, no expectations. Just acknowledgement of change. Weeks passed without reply. I was content. I had learned that healthy relationships, especially after harm, do not demand immediate reciprocation. They breathe in silence. The seminar September arrived, and Rebegin hosted its largest seminar yet. Financial independence for women. More than 100 women attended. I stood backstage, heart trembling, breath steadying, and walked to the podium. "Hello," I began, smiling softly. "My name is Diane Miller." The audience welcomed me warmly. "At 70 years old," I said, "I'm learning who I am when I am no longer defined by the men in my life." Gentle laughter rippled through the room, laughter of recognition, relief, and solidarity. 2 years ago, my son came to my home demanding almost everything I had saved. He believed, as always, that I wouldn't dare say no. I paused. And like many of you know, these patterns don't start overnight. They're built over years. For me, it began with my husband, who controlled every dollar and every decision until I believed I couldn't live without him. As I spoke, I sensed a shift in the room. A slight movement at the back. A tall, thinner man stepped quietly inside and stood near the door. My heart stopped. Daniel. He didn't speak. He didn't move forward. He didn't try to interrupt. He simply stood and listened. I inhaled sharply and continued. "The hardest and most liberating moment of my life was the day I finally said no. The day I walked out of a house where fear lived in every room. The day I chose myself." I spoke for another 30 minutes. All the while, I felt Daniel's silent presence behind the crowd. Not threatening, not demanding, just listening. When I finished, the room erupted in applause. And Daniel quietly slipped out the door, leaving as silently as he had arrived. When I finished speaking, the entire room rose in applause. Women came to me afterwards, sharing their stories, asking for guidance, thanking me for mine. For once, I didn't shrink. I stood tall, listening, embracing this new role I had stepped into. At the back of the room, Daniel waited. He didn't push, didn't interrupt. He simply waited until the crowd thinned out. When the room was nearly empty, he walked toward me slowly, almost cautiously. There was a vulnerability in his eyes, something I had never seen before. "Hi," he said softly. "Hi," I replied. "Your speech." He swallowed. It was powerful, hard to hear, but necessary. He hesitated. "And thank you for the gardening tools." We stood in silence, the distance between us vast and strange, yet no longer hostile. "How did you even know about this event?" I finally asked. "Lena mentioned it in a letter," he said. "I got special permission from my supervisor to attend, just to listen." I noticed it immediately. He no longer assumed permission. He asked for it. That alone was new. "Are you doing okay?" I asked. He paused a long time before answering. "It's different now," he said. "I'm learning to live with consequences, to exist without manipulating or controlling anyone." He looked directly at me. "It's harder than I thought." "It usually is," I said gently. Daniel checked his watch. "I have to go back. I'm only allowed out for 2 hours." He took a step away, then turned back. "You turned something terrible into something meaningful," he said. "I don't know the right word. Proud doesn't feel right." He shook his head slightly. "Maybe impressed, or even inspired." As he walked away, something in me moved before I could stop it. "Daniel," I called out. He turned. "Would you like to get coffee sometime?" I asked. "In a public place." He blinked, surprised. I'd like that." "This isn't reconciliation," I clarified. "Just a conversation." "I understand," he said, voice quiet. "This already means more than I deserve." Coffee with boundaries. A week later, we met at a crowded cafe near the park where he worked. A correctional officer sat several tables away, pretending to read a menu. The conversation was awkward at first. To people trying to build something new on the ruins of something broken. "How are the kids?" Daniel asked. "They're doing well," I said. "Lucas is obsessed with astronomy now, and Mariana is learning to play the flute." He smiled. They mentioned that in their letters. Lena even sent a few photos. I took a deep breath. Daniel, what made you start seeing people as tools? As things to use? He stared out the window, the sun casting lines across his face. Probably since I was a kid, he said slowly. I watched how Dad treated you, how he always got what he wanted. It seemed to work. So, I learned it. At school, at work, everywhere. And now? I asked gently. Now I'm learning something different. That real relationships require give and take. That people aren't stepping stones. I'm trying to remember that. We talked for nearly an hour. No tears. No dramatic reconciliation. Just honesty, something we had never shared before. When we parted, Daniel asked quietly, would you meet again? Maybe, I said. One step at a time. Choosing peace. The next morning, I walked along the beach with Marissa. Do you think he's really changed? She asked. I watched the waves rise, break, and rise again. I think he's trying, I said softly. And that alone is more than Edward ever did. And forgiveness? She asked. Are you ready for that? I took a long breath. Forgiveness isn't something you give once, I said. It's something you practice every day. I'm learning to forgive him. And myself. For letting things go on so long. A new beginning at 70. That afternoon, I sat on my balcony and opened my journal. Today, at 70, I realize life rarely offers perfect endings. There's no guarantee Daniel has changed for good. No promise I'll never stumble again. But maybe life is not about perfect endings. Maybe it's about beginning again. As many times as necessary. It's about breaking harmful cycles, even when it feels impossible. It's about believing we are bigger than our worst choices, both his and mine. The $180,000 Daniel once demanded was, in the end, the price of my freedom. Steep but nothing compared to the cost of living a life that wasn't mine. I'm not wealthy now. I live simply. Earn enough from embroidery and my modest savings. But I am richer than I have ever been. Rich in friendships, peace, purpose, and a courage I never knew I could have. If there's one lesson I want to leave for my granddaughters, and for all the women I meet through Rebegin, it's this. It's never too late to say no. It's never too late to find yourself. It's never too late to start again. At 70, I am not ending my story. I'm finally beginning the truest chapters. The sun dipped into shades of orange and violet, painting the sky with promise. Just then, the doorbell rang. Marissa stood there holding a bottle of wine. To celebrate, she said, stepping in. Celebrate what? 3 years since you said no? 3 years of freedom. We laughed and raised our glasses to the sunset. To courage, I said. Marissa smiled. To Diane, she corrected. The woman who finally started living her own life. And she was right. What changed me wasn't time. It was realizing that love cannot survive where control and fear live. Family should not be the place where we disappear. It should be the place where we grow. Forgiveness, I learned, is not a gift we give others so they can find peace. It is a gift we give ourselves to be free. So if you're reading my story and standing at your own crossroads, between staying out of guilt or leaving for peace, I hope this helps you see. Walking away isn't always the end. Sometimes, it's the beginning of a life that finally belongs to you. And what about you? Have you ever had to let go of someone, or something, to begin again? Share your story with me in the comments. Maybe your truth will be the strength someone out there desperately needs. And if you'd like to keep walking beside me on this journey of courage and healing, stay with me. Let's keep learning how to love without losing ourselves.